Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It is week 13, and I'm with my friend Alisha Hunt, the former Millionaire Maker on DraftKings. And I don't want to say former because I think she's winning it again sometime soon. So it will be the current and future millionaires. But Alisha, this is a tough week. We got 6 teams on bye. You got a concentrated group of games. And then Jonathan Taylor decides, hey, I'm out. My thumb is hurt. So now Mr. Zach Moss at $4,600 is going to be etched into, I would argue, at least 50% of lineups.
Yeah.
So let's just start out with this. First of all, hope you had a good Thanksgiving. It's good seeing you. Secondly, would you fade Zach Moss?
He's so cheap. He might be decent. I mean, I think the guy plays pretty well, even with Jonathan Taylor in the game. So, he may be chalk that you need to have.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I think like he's 4,600. You're not going to find anybody cheaper. Now, unless you could tell me that I could pivot to another running back that's even in the realm. Oh, he's 5,600. Excuse me. I mean, I guess could you go up to? I don't even see. There's like nobody around him, Alisha. It's honestly a wasteland.
Yeah. No. Moss is 4,600 on DraftKings.
Oh, and FanDuel he's 56. Yeah, excuse me. You're right. He's 40. Yeah, 46. So I mean, Tyler Algier, Kareem Hunt, Jaylen Warren. I think he's a must play, and I don't think we just try to work around it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. If you agree, then I'm with you. All right, let's get right to it. Miami, Washington, a 49.5 spot. This is a very high scoring game. I am seriously and unequivocally contemplating just saying, listen, Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, bring it back with one rando commander, and I'll start every lineup from there. Agree or disagree?
I might have some of that. Yeah, I definitely will have some pieces with. I'm definitely going to use Hill. I think even though he's expensive, he's got great upside here. Mike, I don't think I'm going to spend up for quarterback this week. There's some good options that are cheaper, and I think where you need to spend up this week is probably tight end and wide receiver. So it's going to be a different kind of a week. I don't know if stack is going to be the way I'm going to go this week.
Let me ask you a question. Sometimes is it crazy to put Sam Howell in that lineup instead of Tua? Use, let's say, Howell, Tyreek, Waddle, Curtis Samuel. Save me a couple of $1,700 and still get the elements of that game. And maybe that game blows up more if Howell stays in it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's expensive. And yeah, he might get 4 times his value, but I prefer to take take Howell, for example. If Howell can get mid-20s in points, I mean, he's way cheaper at 6,200.
Right, and I'm still getting the benefit of Hill and Waddle anyway.
Right.
Right. So it's something I like toying around with sometimes is like take the best game and then take the other quarterback.
Right.
All right. So do you like Mostert in this game? Do you like, and which commanders do you like in this game? Do you like a Chan if he plays?
I do like him if he plays. But I thought he was going to play last time he went in, and what was it, 2 plays and he was out. So I don't know if I mean, the running backs have a good matchup here. The whole team has a good matchup against Washington, but I'm not sure that I'll go to their running backs. There's some other guys that I like better this week on different teams. So I think I might just stick with Hill. Hill's my favorite, I think. Brian Robinson Jr., maybe a little bit of sprinkle here and there. And Curtis Samuel, I like a lot.
I do like Curtis Samuel too. He may be my favorite guy. I just don't trust McLaurin, and I just don't trust Dotson. Let me ask you, at one time, if I'm not mistaken, the Miami was bad against tight ends. Can Logan Thomas be involved in this or not really?
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
It just seems like every time I play him, he stinks. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, he's going to go off one of these days, though.
Okay, Indianapolis against Tennessee. This is a 43 spot here. Let me throw a concept out to you. I'm not trusting Gardner Minshew. I'm not trusting Will Levis. I don't hate Pittman. I don't hate Downs. I don't hate Hopkins. Could I get Henry and Moss in the same lineup?
Yeah, because I think those are the only two real great pieces of the game, to be honest.
What do you think of Henry at 6,800?
Henry, I mean, he did well last week. What did he have? 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's King Henry this time of year, so yeah, he absolutely could.
I think that people don't like playing the same running backs in the same game.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? 2 running backs who are facing each other, they don't like it. It makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I think that this year especially, if you look back every week at some of these Millionaire Maker winners, like a lot of the old school mentality of you have to do this in order to win or you should do that, that's gone. I mean, you do what feels right in your gut, you put it together and you hope it wins. I mean, there's always going to be luck involved, but if you have strategy and you think it's going to work, you think Moss and Henry could put up possibly 50 points, well, shit, put them in. you know?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't know if I love it. I just am throwing out ideas for people to listen to think about. All right, the Jets and Falcons feels like the hardest. I mean, I can't imagine playing anybody in this game except would we play Atlanta's defense against the wretched Jets?
I do like Atlanta's defense. Yeah, I like them, and I don't mind Bijan. He's starting to get work now. I wouldn't have said that 3 weeks ago, but even against the Jets, I think he's special. I will still call him the junior McCaffrey, and I think at some point he's going to be just as good.
Look, I agree with you. I just don't see me paying $6,700 for a guy who I think if he has the greatest game ever, he's 3xing
right
against the Jets. I don't see it getting better than that, and that's why I can't play him.
No, I hear
you. Okay, as long as you're hearing me. All right. Arizona and Pittsburgh. This game this is like a 41.5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 41.5. I think Pittsburgh's not getting enough love. Dare I say, and normally I have an adage called never Najee, but he ran pretty well last week. Arizona, as you saw, I think Kyron Williams is still running. I mean, they still haven't tackled him yet. I don't know why Najee Harris. I don't know why Jaylen Warren, Deontay Johnson. I mean, it seems strange to me that this is only a 41.5 where Arizona couldn't stop anything last week. What does Las Vegas know that we don't?
I think there's some life in Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh. I think it's kind of a sneaky, maybe not so sneaky. I think it's a great stack if you're going to stack a game. Murray's way too expensive against Pittsburgh defense. I don't like him at all. The only person I really like on that team is McBride, but I wouldn't stack him with Murray.
Do you love McBride this week? Do you love him at 4,900? Because he's creeping up every week. You know, last week, if you, I don't know if I said it here. I know I said it on the radio. I said Pat Frymuth is going to win somebody $1 million. I mean, at 2,900.
It looks kind of like a week where you need to spend up on tight end, in my opinion. I don't really see any real cheap guys that are standing out to me at this point. I mean, but it's only Wednesday, so could change.
I got a guy. I think we'll get to him in a little bit. I got a guy. But so can you play Kenny Pickett? Do you feel good about playing Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, I think you can. He's so cheap. Yeah, and you can take him, stack him with Pickens. You could throw Freiermuth in there, and you could get all sorts of other pieces that are more expensive.
Now, you mentioned cheap quarterbacks, going cheap quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Brock Purdy? Are you thinking Russell Wilson, Gardner Minshew, Kenny Pickett? Who are you thinking?
I think my favorite 2 quarterbacks on this slate are Pickett and actually I have 3. Pickett, Russell Wilson, and Baker Mayfield.
Wait, I couldn't hear you properly. Did you say Baker Mayfield?
I sure did.
Oh, okay. Kidding. I don't know. I mean, does Baker ever throw for 300 yards? Russell Wilson's prop right now is 221.5. Kenny Pickett is 196.5. Wow, that feels like it should be over. And Baker Mayfield's 233.5.
I'll show you how it works later on when I give you my lineup.
All right. I'm definitely listening to this one. Okay. Detroit and New Orleans, 47. Vegas thinks there's points being scored in this game. Olave has a concussion. Rashid Shaheed, maybe. I think he's likely out. Yeah. Kamara feels like you better be playing him. But Detroit is very good at stopping the run. Goff doesn't do as well on the road, but yet this is a dome. Where are you with this game? Do you like Amon-Ra St. Brown? Do you like Gibbs? Do you like Montgomery? Do you like Carr? Who do you like in this game?
This game, just looking at it, maybe Laporta. It's not sitting well with me at this point. Again, it's Wednesday. I'm probably going to look at it again, but New Orleans, Carr, he can't be trusted. Kamara, I don't know. I just feel like they're going to be all over him because he's going to be the main guy if these other guys sit out. So it's kind of an ugly game.
Yeah, it is. The problem is I think this game will have elements of it that will help somebody win. But if I like Tyreek Hill as much as I do, I can't afford Tyreek and Kamara. And I think this could be a Tyreek 200-yard type of week that I don't want to not have.
Agreed.
Because he doesn't have that many more weeks in him like this. Like the matchups are really tough.
Right.
Do you ever give me 1 second. I want to look at something, Alisha. So Miami and our guy Tyreek has 1,324 yards. Okay. Mm-hmm. His remaining games are Tennessee, which is a great one. But then it's the Jets, Dallas, Baltimore, Buffalo. I think if he wants 2,000 yards, he's got to have at least 300 yards in the next 2 weeks. He's got to be at about 1,650 because those last 4 games, he may only have 70 or 80 yards in those games. I think he's going to need an explosion to get there.
Yeah, he definitely, between these 2 weeks, he can do it for sure.
Right. So that's why I'm thinking that it could be big. All right. The Chargers against the Patriots. The Chargers are 6-point favorites on the road. This game's 40.5. Let me just ask you, I'm not playing anybody on New England. Herbert, Allen, Eckler, in play or fade?
I don't love this game. Keenan Allen, he's been really good lately, but and you might be able to throw him in, but again, he's expensive. I'd rather put Hill in. He's not as expensive as Hill, but New England's sneaky good on their defense. They've been more, I say sneaky because they've always historically kind of been a good defense, but they've been playing a lot better lately. I just don't love it.
I don't love it either. Even in seasonal, I have Herbert in a couple of high stakes leagues, and I'm just not feeling warm and fuzzy about it, to be quite honest with you.
No, I agree with you.
I mean, I don't want to bench him, but I don't feel good about it. All right, let's get to there's 4 more games. 2 I think are very interesting. Denver against Houston, 47.5. Denver's been bad against tight ends, bad against running backs, good against receivers. Houston has let up a lot of points. This game could explode, but once again, I go to Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is telling me Stroud's going to throw for 263. Russell Wilson's at 221, but he's minus 130, which means he should go over. Do you think this game opens up a little bit?
Yeah, and I prefer Russ over Stroud. I know Stroud has a huge ceiling, but I don't know. He's expensive. I think Denver is a little bit better than people are giving him credit for. They've come a long way, and there's some great pieces to this game. But
who are your pieces? Give me some pieces you like in this game.
I like Russ, and I think I like him best with Judy. Sutton's been dropping.
Why Judy?
Sutton's been dropping too much stuff. I mean, too many passes. He's just. I think Judy's coming around. I think he has a better matchup here, and I think Dell is great. I think Dell is too expensive at 7,400 for me. Nico, maybe Noah Brown if he's back.
Noah Brown is interesting. Jerry Judy's had a really bad year. I mean, really bad. But Judy's 4,700. So for 4,700, Alisha, I'd rather have Deontay Johnson at 5,000. I'd rather have Curtis Samuel at 4,100. Like, I can't imagine me rostering Judy and feeling good about my situation.
Right. Let's see here. Yeah, Judy. Let's see where Judy and who's the other guy? Sutton. Judy's actually projected to get more points than Sutton.
I don't know where you're looking, but I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing. Well, that's not true. Yeah, I see Judy. The place I'm looking at has Judy about 11.5 points, and Sutton about 12.5. Still, don't. I think I'm going to need more than that to take down a tournament.
No, and I don't. I mean, it's not going to be I don't think it's a priority for me to have him. I'm not sure who the priority would be here yet, but I really thought that Javonte Williams was going to have a good game, and then they just threw all sorts of other pieces in it. P. Ryan got a bunch of work. I mean,
that came out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden, P. Ryan is running like a thoroughbred. I haven't seen that all season. Right. All right, couple more games here, Alisha. Carolina, Tampa Bay, you mentioned Baker Mayfield being a good buy at 5,500. What about our good friend Rachaad White, who, by the way, now I don't know whether you watched this last week. They were on the 1-yard line on 2 different occasions, and it's like they gave it to the ball boy, they gave it to the trainer, they gave it to the coat check person. They didn't give it to Rachaad White. I don't understand it.
Preach. I know. I don't. There's a lot of things that you watch on Sunday, and it's like, what in the hell are you doing? Give it to them.
I don't get it. At least give them the first down ball and then throw it. But it just makes no sense. And then they get in a penalty, and then it'd be 3rd and 6. Well, now you're not going to give it to Rachaad White anyway.
Right. Yeah, I don't get it either.
I will tell you, I love the Bryce Young over prop this week.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is at 195. I locked it in this morning at 192. So it's already going up because I feel like it's the old Kenny Pickett, free Kenny Pickett theory, free Bryce Young from Frank Reich theory, and maybe somebody let him throw it and be the person he wants to be.
Yeah, and Thielen's price dropped down to 6,600. He might be a good one. We'll see.
I like Thielen too. Thielen's prop was at 61.5, and nobody's going to play him. Nobody.
Nope.
I will tell you, I do like Jonathan Mingo at 3,300. First round pick. If you need a cheap person at the end, if they're throwing it. All right. Cleveland against the Rams. I like David Njoku a ton this week. So that would be the tight end that I'd go down to, even though he dropped an easy pass in the end zone. He had his hands on it, he dropped it. But they're targeting him so much, Alisha, and the Rams have been really generous against opposing tight ends.
Yeah, I love Njoku this week. Absolutely love him. He's kind of a lock for me.
Is Kyron Williams a lock? Is Puka Nacua, is Cooper Kupp against the Cleveland Browns?
Might have some Williams, but no, that's it. Cooper's he's a fade for me this week. He's had 10 fantasy points or less in 5 games now. I just can't get behind it. Nacua, I don't know. That was a weird game, and I think it's going to be weird again because they're playing Cleveland. So,
yeah, I'm not in. I think this could be a very ugly game, and one of those games where I think it's just going to be Njoku and get out.
Agreed.
All right, let's get to the big one here. Oh, Heat says the Rams can be run on as well. However, if the Rams from last week show up, they won't keep up. The Rams can be run on. I just think that, look, if Cleveland had a quarterback, I think Cleveland wins this game easily. But can the Rams offense perform against Cleveland's defense? And nobody can do anything against Cleveland's defense.
Right.
All right. San Francisco against Philadelphia, 47.5. They always put that late game that I want to stack. If I could only play 2 games this week, Alisha, it'd be Miami and Washington, and it would be this game.
So this game, my first thought when looking at this game, just because I watched that game, and I said to myself, is Philly, like, I don't know, for some reason they don't really do a whole lot until they have to, is what it seems like. They didn't have Swift out there, another running back. I don't know what you're doing, like, get him out there. So my first thought in this game is, and I could be completely off, but I think it's going to be kind of sluggish and not a very high scoring game unless it needs to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
The 49ers play slower on offense. Buffalo plays much faster on offense. I think it's going to be more of a back and forth defensive type game. In my opinion, I don't see Philly playing super aggressively unless the 49ers come at them and they're forced to. They're just not that kind of a team. They're kind of a reactive team. They're not really a proactive team.
Here's my thought. My thought is that the 49ers do the most with the least, meaning they'll throw the ball 32 times. Brock Purdy will connect 24. Those 24 passes will lead to 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, they don't need bulk to be good. Where the Eagles, and I think that the 49ers will score, which means the Eagles want to score.
Yeah, there's something about this game that it should be like this big shootout and then it should go nuts, but something's telling me it's not going to be. And maybe I'm totally off. Maybe I'm having the 1-year anniversary of my Millionaire Maker win problem. I don't know, but yeah, I could be like the only maybe 10% of people that think this, but it's just something. I'll probably have pieces in it, but I'm only going to put 3 lineups in this week. I'm sick of donating, and
you know what I say, Alisha? Don't be a donor unless you're an organ donor.
That's true.
Well, look, I respect your thought process on making a stand. Like, I'm not playing this game. What I see myself doing here is having 3 lineups. One where I'm stacking the crap out of the Miami game. One where I'm stacking the crap out of this game. And then the third lineup where I just figure out, like, I'll take some pieces and throw it together as like a mishmash lineup. Because I don't want to be wrong. So I'd rather just have 3 lineups and say, look, if this game hits, I'll win. If this game loses, I'll lose. But hopefully one of those 3 teams will, help me win some money.
Right. So, but with that said, I do like Ayuk and Kittle. Are they going to score a lot? I don't know. They may get some volume. So yeah, I mean, those two guys I like for sure.
I can't blame you for that at all. I like them as well. All right, let's get to your lineup. Tell me what you want to put in, and then I'll put one in, and we'll see whose is better.
All right. So I have Baker Mayfield.
All right, mine's already better. Kidding.
Rashad White and Zach Moss.
All right, nice. Like where you're going there.
I've got some A.T. Perry in there.
If you don't have A.T. Perry in there, you don't know. You're not watching. Go ahead.
So I'm probably going to change this up a little bit. My first thought was to have Terry McLaurin in there, but I may go back and change it. I'm not sure yet. So let's roll with that for now. Tyreek Hill.
McLaurin. All right, go ahead.
David Njoku.
Gotta have Njoku.
I have Kyron Williams.
Okay, Kyron.
And the Buccaneers defense.
You're missing one.
Tyreek.
Tyreek. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Tyreek Hill. All right. According to my numbers here, you're at 142.8. That's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if I can beat you here. 142.8. I'm going to go with my good friend, Tua. I'm going to go with my man, Zach Moss. I'm going to go with Tyreek for sure. And then I'm going to go with Curtis Samuel because Sam Howell loves him, literally. I think he loves him. Njoku for sure. Let me go on defense. I'll go with Atlanta. And now what? I have a running back, a receiver, and a flex. Can I get... Oh, I know the running back. I'm going Never Najee. I just almost threw up in my mouth on that one, Alicia. Let's see. I think I said I'm going to stack this whole game, so let me just be a man of my word. Let me get a little Waddle in there. And that leaves me with practically nothing. Ooh. And I'll go with Jonathan Mingo. Ooh, my team stinks. That's a problem. I can't go. Waddle's got to go out. Waddle's got to go out. So let me take Waddle out and make this a little bit better. Let me put in my guy, Cortland Sutton, and that leaves me 5,700 for a flex. And maybe I'll just say for now, Javonte Williams. Yeah, you're still a little ahead. I'm at 141.6.
Okay.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right about the Tua being too expensive.
Well, I mean, because Baker, I mean, I'm looking on the site right now, or was earlier. He's projected at 20 fantasy points. He's 5,500. Tua's got to put up, what is he, almost 8,000? He's got to put over 30 points up to make it worth it. And then your other guys, you know what I mean? This just leaves a lot more room.
But let me show you something that we talked about earlier, okay? Just bear with me. If I can get Howell in with Waddle and Hill.
Okay.
I can get that game in if I put in Howell and not Tua. So I just need Tua not to go for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and I just got beat by I lost because I didn't have the best player in the game there.
Right. Okay, maybe Washington comes to play this week defensively. Who knows? Weird things happen.
Let's do one more. I want to see something here. Just bear with me. Brock Purdy, and if I put Kittle in, who do you like from that game? You said you like Ayuk, right?
I do, yeah.
Who do you like from the Eagles side?
It would probably have to be AJ Brown, but he's so expensive.
I really want Tyreek in there.
Okay, so let's not put
Do you like Devonta Smith? Do you like DeAndre Swift?
I do like Swift, yeah.
All right. So do you have a receiver at $4,000?
Let's see. Can we do 41 or is that too much?
For you, I can do 41.
Put Curtis Samuel in there.
All right, little Curtis Samuel, and I've got to go with the world's worst defense. Okay. This team would be Brock Purdy, Zach Moss, DeAndre Swift, Ayuk, Tyreek Hill, Perry, Kittle, Samuel, and Washington. See, I think I would take out Tyreek here, put in A.J. Brown, and then just stack the crap out of this one.
Do you think A.J. Brown's going to get as much as Tyreek?
No, that's the problem.
That's the problem, no.
But then I'm going with the Washington defense, which may get me nothing. But, I mean, look, so that team is Purdy, Moss, Swift, Ayuk, Hill, Perry, Kittle, Samuel.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah. Here, I'm going to do something real fast. Hang on a second.
Wait, Heat Override has a crazy lineup. Purdy, Stevenson, Kyron, Hill, Ayuk, Perry, Conklin, 49ers defense. I don't know.
I just want to see. So here, check this one out. If we put Kenny Pickett in there and just, well, it's not stacking him. Hang on a second.
Instead of who?
Just building a whole new one. I just wanted to see, like, who do we like better? Do we like Pickens or do we like? I think Pickens gets more than Deontay Johnson.
All right, so you want Pickens in there?
Yeah.
All right. No bringbacks or McBride, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, you can put McBride in there.
All right. Zach Moss.
Yeah,
do you want
Zach
A.T. Curry in there as well?
So I lost who we have in there and who we don't.
All right, so right now, for purposes, I have Pickett and Moss, Pickens, okay, McBride, and A.T. Perry, which gives you like 3 big goons to put in.
And what's the salary we give?
You have like close to $7,000 a player, plus a defense.
Do you like Debo?
Yeah, I do.
6,200.
Yeah.
I like the Falcons defense.
I do too.
A lot this week. So what
do you want to get? Do you want to get A.J. Brown or Tyreek in?
I like Tyreek. I do. I think.
All right, so that leaves you $8,100 for a running back. Ooh, we were $100 away from Kamara.
Well, if you, let's see, defense.
If I take out the whatchamacallit, so here, this is interesting. I have $3,300 for a defense. You just tell me the defense.
Just throw the Browns in for all intents and purposes because they might kill a little bit.
So this is Pickett, Moss, Kamara, Pickens, A.T. Perry, Samuel, McBride, Tyreek, and Cleveland.
I don't hate it. How many points is that?
137, according to what I had. Your first one was better.
Yeah.
Your Baker Mayfield and Rashad. I think it's because of Rashad White.
Yeah, and some of these ownership predictions aren't even right or in yet. So.
I know, it's so early. Let me ask you this question before I let you go.
Yeah.
Who is the 2 touchdown player of the week?
We got to go with Zach Moss. I mean, he's just going to be the beast in the backfield.
But Tennessee doesn't let up a lot of rushing yards.
I think he's – look at something real quick here.
Now, Heat says come off Hill that we can go to McCaffrey. That's interesting.
Could.
I have to think about that.
Yeah, I like McCaffrey. The next person I would say maybe would be Rashad White.
For 2 touchdowns, considering you didn't get anything last week?
Yeah.
You think they're all of a sudden going to find him?
Yeah, I just don't see Carolina. I mean, Rachaad White's good. I don't see Carolina turning around after firing Frank Wright and just being a great rush defense. I just don't.
Let me give you this lineup, Alisha. Tell me if I'm crazy or crazy like a fox. Purdy, McCaffrey, Kamara. Zach Moss, Tyreek Hill, A.T. Perry, Devontae Parker, Juwan Johnson in Carolina.
I don't hate Juwan Johnson. I don't know if I love Kamara this week. I know it looks like he should be utilized a lot, but I just don't know if it's going to happen.
I love Amon-Ra St. Brown this week.
Do you?
The Saints slot corner is wretched. His middle name is Wretched. That's what he has in his jersey. They call him Wretch. That's how bad it is. I just think that game could be sneaky. I think you're looking at 2 teams right now who are kind of struggling a little bit.
Yep.
And when 2 teams are struggling, 1 of 2 things happen. Either the game explodes or the game is like 10-7 in the 4th quarter and you're shaking your head asking yourself, why did I play this?
It's true. Yeah, I mean, Carr is just, he's got to get it together, man. It's bad.
All right, let's see. I'm just typing something in here to see. All right, I like what we're talking about, though. I think we're on to some things here this week. I feel like we're on the right plays. You know what? Before we leave, I just feel like I've been saying this all season. Last week, I'm looking at the lineups that are winning, including my own, which have been successful, but not like $100,000 successful.
Right.
I feel like I have the right players. I just haven't been able to put it in exactly. How do you combat that? Is it just more lineups? How do you refine your process?
So I was at that point last year, and I'm at that point again where it's just kind of like I'm picking the right people, but the idea is to get them all in the same lineup together and make it just, but I would say 50 to 60% of my players in my lineups got flames all over them. But they all need to have flames, or at least 90% of them do. It gets frustrating, but don't give up. It's going to happen. You're going to hit. You're going to lose more than you win in this industry. That's just how it is. People go on spurts, and yeah, I mean, you can do more lineups, but how much more money do you spend? And you don't always get the return on it.
I know, you see these people, I won 100,000, I won 100,000. Dude, you lost 86,000. You didn't win 100. You won 14, and he said something interesting here. Last week, there were so many 2DT players that even if you had them, you still could have lost.
Right.
So I think what you said earlier in the show, Alisha, probably makes the most sense. You have to take everything we knew about DFS and throw it out. Yeah. Because lineups have won this year that have no rhyme or reason to it. No rhyme or reason to it. And it's been like Purdy with no stack. Here I am thinking, if I have Purdy, I better have Debo. If I have Debo, I better have this. What's my bring back? I'm thinking old. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's not going to win $1 million.
Well, I feel like football's played differently now. It's not the same as it was 5-10 years ago.
But has the game changed?
I think the theory, it's gone more analytical. So yeah, I mean, the game's changed for sure.
But how do lineups change with that?
I mean, think about back 10 years ago. Like, were they going for it on 4th down? No.
That's true. That's good.
They weren't. So now they go for it on 4th down and they do the tush push. And he gets a couple more points. Jalen Hurts gets points. I don't know why every team doesn't do that, by the way. It's simple. It seems so simple.
It does seem simple. And you just brought up something that I need to really think about. if you don't have a mobile quarterback, you could lose. Unless you have like a Tua or a Purdy who have such good receivers. To play a guy who's not mobile may cost you money. Because last week, look at what happened with Allen and Hurts.
Yep.
You win. 2 weeks ago with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, maybe Kenny Pickett is sneakily fast.
And we don't know because he hasn't been, I mean, Canada didn't let him do his thing, but I liked what I saw last. He's still got some refining to do, but I think he's got potential.
Yeah. All right. I like where we're going. I like this first look.
Yeah.
Oh, Heat Override has an interesting thing here. James Conner returning home narrative. Don't look past, you have a quizzical look, Alisha. Years ago, I made a fortune. Ready for this narrative? I'm pulling this one out of my sphincter here, okay? Eli and Peyton Manning grew up in New Orleans. They went to Isidore Newman High School. And Eli and the Giants came down and played the Saints. Of course, Beckham, when he was playing with the Giants, played at LSU. Eli and Beckham put up like 80 points between the two of them.
Yeah.
Had them that week. Just throwing the New Orleans narrative paid off then.
Hey,
maybe this is the Connor comes back to Pittsburgh narrative.
It could be. It could be.
I'm just throwing it out there. I like where Heat's going. Heat's my contrarian guy. You know, if there's somebody that's a little contrarian, but not, crazily contrarian. How much is Connor this week? Connor's 5,800. Do you consider Connor a major disappointment last week? Because I do against the Rams.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he was. I think Connor can do really well. He's a good running back.
They just don't throw the ball to him this year, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's where he excels. He's not necessarily just a rushing quarter or a rushing running back.
Right.
You got to get him more involved.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time tonight. I wish you much luck this week. Take a look for Alisha's article. It'll be out at drroto.com if you want to be a millionaire yourself. She's been this close a bunch of times this year. We're going to try to help you get paid. For Doc and Alisha, be well and take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.